Exercise 1H, plans and elevations from the rates and ratios topic. The learning intention for this lesson is to draw a plan and elevation and find measurements from house plans. Now, a plan is a view of an object from the top, looking down on the object. It's a bird's eye view. A house plan is a horizontal section cut through the building, showing the walls, windows, door openings, fittings, and appliances, major appliances. An elevation is a view of an object from one side, such as a front elevation or side elevation. House elevations are rarely a simple rectangular shape, but show all the parts of the building that are seen from a particular direction. House elevations are a vertical section parallel to one side of the building. That's really important when you are when people build homes to have these plans. So it's too late once the building is built to change anything. So it's really important that the plans are done in detail from all views, so that whoever's building it or purchasing it can get a really good idea of what it's going to look like, and make sure it suits whatever needs that they have. Okay, so when you have a look at plans for a home, they're very detailed. There's heaps of pages, every single angle shot, upstairs, downstairs, zoomed in bedrooms, zoomed in kitchens. Everything is there with all of the measurements. So it's a very big job getting those plans made. So there's a lot of work for the architect or the draftsman. And everything else that comes after depends on those plans. So all your tradesmen that come to do different parts of the home, they refer back to those initial plans. So there cannot be any mistakes, and everything has to be done accurately. So it's usually a very tedious process getting them finalised. Now, having a look at the first example, it says draw the plan view, front elevation and side elevation of this object. So remember, plan view is your bird's eye view from the top. Okay, so in this case, if you were to fly over this object, what you would see as your plan would be there's 3 squares that you would see. So you wouldn't see any kind of depth. Now, when you are doing these, you need to be using a ruler. Okay, okay, so that's the plan view. Now, the front elevation, now they've indicated where the front is. If you're standing there at the front, all you would see would just be the 2 squares. Okay, and then your side elevation. Would look something like that. Okay, and you see all 4 of them. Okay, now, building plans. So a floor plan for a Metricon home is shown below. Building plans are a very common application of similar figures. Okay, so everything is in proportion to its actual size. So they are drawn using a scale factor such as 1 to 150, which is your standard in Australia. All house plans are drawn to the same scale factor, which makes it easier for builders to read them. There's actually special rulers that they use. So a ruler that converts it to meters for them straight away, that once they put it on the paper. So having a look here, it's quite a detailed, there's no measurements on this one, but all of the main details of the home are included. Okay, and down the bottom here are some symbols that you need to be familiar with. So a door, these are all doors, and the way that that swing is the way that the door would open. Windows are usually these kind of look like gaps in the walls. Toilets look like a bird's eye view of a toilet. A bathtub, same sort of thing. A shower is always this kind of cross. Kitchen sink. It's over here on this island. Okay, so generally most of the symbols are quite straightforward, and if you are a bit confused as to what it can be, usually you just think about what room it's in, and it would make some sort of sense, and you'll be able to work out what they are. But they're your main ones down below. Alright, this is a very difficult example to explain. The maths in it itself is pretty straightforward, but the problem is that you are all using your online textbooks, so using your laptops. So this whole exercise can be really difficult because when you use a hard copy of the textbook, for example, everything is the scales all work, but because everyone's screen size is a little bit different, your textbook is zoomed. When you're measuring with a ruler, which is what this exercise requires you to do, you can't get it right. So what I will do in class for this exercise, I will photocopy a few copies from the textbook, so that way you have, I guess, a more accurate or closer to what the scale would be. Okay, but my point is, if you are making some mistakes, don't automatically think that you've done something wrong. It is likely that it has to do with the scale and your screen and things like that. Okay. Alright, a building plan is shown from the ground floor of a Metricon home. How many internal doors are there? So I'll just do it in colour. So internal doors. So this is an internal. That one. So they're all internal. This one here is external. It's going out onto the front porch. That's also a back door. So we've got 4 internal doors. PWDR. Now that's over here with this toilet and this sink. So that stands for powder. So powder room. Alright, what is the length of the house? Now to make this a little bit easier, we know the scale is 1 to 150. I've actually just put the measurements as if I were to measure them from the textbook, because obviously I can't measure everything because the zoom would affect the size. So if you measure from the textbook, it would be 12.6 centimetres. So let's work out what its actual measurement would be. So 12.6 centimetres times that by 150, and you'll get 1890 centimetres. Now it's a bit of a weird measurement to have it that large in centimetres, so we would convert that to metres. So to get from centimetres to metres, you divide by 100. So you'll get 18.9 metres is the length of this house. Alright, now same goes for D. They want the dimensions of the double garage. Again, I've provided the measurements. So to do the width, 3.5 times 150, and you will get 525 centimetres, which is the same as 5.25 metres. And then the length is 4.1 times 150, which will give you 615 centimetres, which is the same as 6.15 metres. Hold on. Okay. Meaning that the dimensions of the room are... Sorry about that, Paul. The pen was playing up. Dimensions of the room would be 5.25 by 6.15. Okay? And we should also, specify that that's metres. Okay. So good luck with that one. As I said, just be careful with the whole measuring thing, and I will print off a few copies in class so that you can measure all of the dimensions from the textbook version, which would be the most accurate.